Yes, we have a plan. We're not quite sure what it is yet. It's still being formulated, but we have one. It is Ken and Jeremy with you this morning as Deb has the next couple of days off, so we're doing our best to hold down the fort. They're also going to be live streaming, as a matter of fact, right now on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter, and so you can check us out there if you want to as well. It's our mid-morning show coffee break, which we do every weekday morning when we can at 7 o'clock.
And we're giving it a shot right now.
That's right.
I've got it all up and running.
All up and running. Oh, boy, this is scary. All right, anyway, so yeah, we're talking also about it's National Second-Hand Wardrobe Day. So maybe you have found a treasure when you've been out shopping or you've been to shop for something specific and you found a really neat deal out at a second-hand store. The other side of it is that Jen last hour brought up that she has repurposed a dress, or they've repurposed some older clothing. So maybe you've repurposed something. Doesn't have to be clothing necessarily, but maybe you've repurposed something else that you found at a secondhand store, garage sale, something else like that.
Yep, and I believe we've got Lisa on the line with one of those.
Yeah, Lisa, what's your story?
I had a friend who was getting married on a small budget a number of years ago.
Right.
And she just said she was looking for myself and another friend to wear something in the color scheme of a buttery yellow or a blush rose color or a third color. She gave us options and then told us to look for our own dresses.
Yeah.
Well, I was driving by the Goodwill by my house and decided to stop in. I found a dress for $10. It was already a bridesmaid dress.
Oh, man.
When I got to Texas for the wedding, I hadn't talked to her other friend. Her other friend was wearing a dress that she'd bought for a cruise. It was the exact same color.
Really?
God is so good. She, my friend who was the bride, just couldn't believe it. She was so ecstatic.
Wow. What a God thing. That's pretty cool.
Totally. Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
So I was listening through some music that I hadn't heard in a long time yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And Haven Today, which we air at 5 o'clock or 5:30 every weekday morning, played a song by a group, FFH, which stands for Far From Home.
Well, that's what it stands for.
Yeah, Far From Home. Anyway, and I remembered a song that they had out. Man, it's been probably 12 years ago now. Hard to believe. But I just had to play it today. And it's playing right now, and it's called Ready to Fly.
Oh.
But basically, it's just looking forward to the day when we're going to be meeting the Lord in the air, in the rapture, and just getting ready to fly. And just, I don't know, just was so, I just needed that, yesterday. Just needed to be reminded of that yesterday, that we as believers in Christ, this is not our home. We are just sojourners, as the Bible says, or travelers through this time. And we have a mission to do while we're here, but we also need to keep focus on where we're going. And so we need to make sure that we're always ready to fly. And so it was just a great reminder for us yesterday. Anyway, hi, Joyce. Thank you. You, Joyce. She says you brighten my mornings. Well, you brighten ours too, Joyce. Thanks so much. Dave's watching. Heidi's watching. Charlotte's checked in. Appreciate that. Joe, of course, got our regulars, Jordan and Heidi and Joe and Charla, and yeah, appreciate that so much.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
So Heidi has a skirt made out of neckties. I called it my skirt of many colors. It was really cool. Heidi, if you have a picture of that, that would be interesting. I don't know if you do, but that would be an interesting picture to see, a skirt made out of neckties.
So is that considered a tie-dyed skirt, or?
I don't know. You got to be careful, though. If you're wearing that, you could get all tied up. Sorry, very bad. My wife saw this idea about reusing and repurposing stuff. We have this kitchen set that the seats of the chairs are actually kind of like woven, like rope or jute is what they call it.
Oh, okay.
Well, it got wore out over the years, and so we were trying to figure out, what can we do? Because the set, the chairs and everything are still great. So she saw this idea of you buy a bunch of old belts from like a secondhand store, like you wear in your pants, belts.
Right, okay.
And then we took those and we wove them on the chair, both
Really?
directions.
Okay.
And they're really sturdy because they're made out of leather, and you just wove them together to make the seat of the chair, and it really looks pretty cool.
That sounds,
So repurposing some old belts. That is FFH and Ready to Fly on Moody Radio. Haven't heard that one in a long time. I was saying on our mid-morning show Coffee Break just a minute ago that I heard Charles Morris on Haven Today last week, which we air at 5:30 on weekday mornings. He played a song, not that song, but a song by FFH, and I just had forgotten about that group, because it's been quite a while since they've been putting any new things out, and so I started going through some of the songs that they released. Man, it's been 12, 13 years ago.
Well, during the live stream, you actually mentioned what it stands for, and I had no idea.
FFH stands for Far From Home.
So, do you think Sony had to talk to them about that when they did the Spider-Man movie?
I don't know. I have no idea. Who came first? At any rate, so that song Ready to Fly, I was listening to it yesterday, and I was saying on the live stream that I really was needing to hear that yesterday, keeping me focused on being kingdom-minded, because we've been doing that devotional series from Tony Evans about being kingdom-minded, but also reminding ourselves that we as believers and followers of Christ, this is not our home. We are just travelers through here. We do have a mission and a reason why we're here, what we're supposed to be doing, and that's love God with all our heart, mind, soul, love our neighbors ourselves, and make disciples. We're supposed to do that. That's the greatest commandment that we have. But we also have to keep focused on where our home really is, and that is in heaven. It'll be in the new heaven and new earth, right? Eventually, but ready to fly, because Scripture talks about how we will meet Jesus in the air, and the rapture and everything like that. So that's it. That song right there just said, I'm ready to fly. And we need to keep that perspective, I think, at all times as a believer, as much as we can. Just be ready for the day when Jesus comes back. We don't know the day or the hour. No one does, except for the Father. And so trying to always make sure that we're trying to be more like Jesus each day, which I fail at, but I'm trying. But also being ready so when the trumpet sounds, we'll be ready to be taken up and ready to fly. So anyway, that's a great song, and I just love that. Hope that was a blessing to you this morning. 10 minutes after 7 here at Moody Radio. So you got to hear the story twice.
Yeah, but they got to hear it earlier. They got a sneak peek at what was coming up.
That's right.
And speaking of a sneak peek, Heidi is going to send us a picture of that necktie dress.
Skirt made out of neckties.
By text.
I have never heard of that. See, I've heard of a particular artist making a dress out of steak, but I've never heard of one being made out of neckties before. Interesting.
I wonder if she got some of those neckties from Sneaky Pete's after it closed, because they had the whole thing. I guess years ago, you weren't allowed to wear a tie in Sneaky Pete's, formerly in LeClaire.
Right.
And so they would come up with scissors and cut your tie off
Really?
if you wore it in there. And you used to be able to look up at the ceiling, and they had all the victim ties just hanging up there.
So do you think some people did it on purpose? After a while, after it became like a novelty thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So we're talking about repurposing things today too. So if you've ever taken something that was one thing and transformed it into something else, whether that be a picture frame. I've had some people say they've done some things with picture frames and taking old family heirlooms and making picture frames out of those heirlooms so that you can keep those alive. Or maybe you've taken a piece of furniture and you've transformed it into something else.
There was a guy going around a few years ago, and he would make sculptures out of horseshoes.
Really?
I think they were horseshoes because I think my grandparents got them and then maybe gave them to my parents. But I remember seeing it was like a cowboy on a horse made out of horseshoes.
Wow.
And then there was a crow made out of a shovel.
Really?
Some really interesting stuff.
Huh. That's pretty cool.
Wanda made some jeans into a purse.
(7:13) Ken and Jeremy with you. Deb has the day off today and tomorrow, but coming up the 28th of this month, which is this Friday, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah, sneaking up on us. At 7:30 in the evening, there's going to be a special concert on Facebook that will really help to prevent hunger and all different kinds of things like that, or end poverty around the country with Compassion International, Feed the Hungry, and all kinds of different organizations. And artists like Toby Mac and more will be on this concert.
Yeah, it's Unite to Fight Poverty. I think.
Yep, the Unite concert, yep.
It's going to be free. You can find it by going to moodyradio.org/ it should be on our moodyradio.org/Quad Cities Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
moodyradio.org/Quad Cities.
That's
our website. Moody Radio Quad Cities Facebook page. It won't be on the website, but you'll be able to find it on the Facebook
page. You had
page.
me going.
I knew there was something wrong there.
This does not compute. Yes, if you go to the Moody Radio Quad Cities Facebook page, this coming Friday night at 7:30, we'll have a link to that concert. You'll want to make sure you check that out. Right now, it's music from We Are Messengers and Love on Moody Radio Quad Cities, from the Word to Life. So I think Heidi sent a picture. Oh, she sent a link to a picture. Let's go look. And it's not available.
Okay, so Heidi, that picture might be limited based on friend.
Yeah, you might have to change your security settings or privacy settings on that.
Oh, hey, look, my mother's chiming in to give details on the horseshoes and the crow and
Oh, really?
a sunflower.
Billy.
We all know Billy, right?
Yeah, that's right. Spelled backwards, it's Yellub. We have a goat by the name, a Billy goat, you know, they call him Billy goats. His name is Yellub. It's Billy spelled backwards. Sorry. Side trivia note. Oh, yeah.
So Heidi, I just replied to your comment. Yeah, the when we are doing the live stream and you're commenting on Facebook, it doesn't allow you to post pictures in the live stream chat. Now afterwards you can comment.
She just texted it to us. There it is. That is cool.
Oh, fancy.
Ha. That is pretty cool. That's a nice skirt. We'll have to post that on our Facebook page later.
Yeah, we'll go in and we'll get it into the comments after the live stream wraps up.
All right. So if you want to see the skirt made out of ties, go to our live stream video later after we get this done, and we'll post the picture there so you can see this pretty cool skirt that's been remade. Also, let's see, Lori says that she doesn't throw away old jeans, T-shirts, etc. She cuts them in 3 long strips, ties them in a knot at the top, and braids them, and then a knot at the bottom. Great dog pull toy, and very cheap, too. I like that. Very cool. Lori, we've taken old, what is it? I got to go on the air. I'll tell you later. We are messengers with love on Moody Radio Quad Cities. And so talking about repurposing things that people have made, since it is National Secondhand Wardrobe Day, so we're kind of looking for different treasures you might have found at the secondhand store. Not a microphone, no. Or maybe something that you've repurposed. And so Lori, on our live stream, mentioned that she never throws away old jeans or T-shirts, etc., but she cuts them into 3 long strips. So if you have your pants of your jeans or whatever, cuts them into 3 long strips, ties a knot at the top, and then braids them, and then ties a knot at the bottom, and then you've got a great dog pull toy. So see, Jeremy, there's something you could do for Zora.
There we go. I need to look into that.
Yeah, you can repurpose some old jeans or T-shirts.
Yeah. And then
Pippa might like it too.
she might enjoy those as well. Pippa's the Chihuahua.
Yeah.
And Zora is the Border Collie, for those that weren't aware.
Yeah.
Jordan also chimed in. He was
Yeah.
talking about how his mom actually modifies jeans that have holes in them. She'll, cut them and
Right.
turn them into shorts for him to keep them usable.
There you go. That's a great idea. My wife has also, and also some other folks that she knows, have taken old jeans and made quilts out of them as well, which is kind of neat because if you take part of the jeans where it has the pocket, the back pocket, and you put that part into a quilt, well, then you've got a quilt with pockets. So if you strategically put those squares in the right spot, when you're being comfy, you could put snacks in them.
Sneaky.
And have them right there on your quilt. Just saying.
That reminds me, I've got a friend. She took all her favorite T-shirts from when she was a teenager, and she cut them up, and then she turned it into a quilt. And so
Nice.
she's got a quilt with like all her favorite high school shirts for different things.
Yeah, I have actually a friend of mine, Linda, who does that and does that for people. She will make them for them if they have, like favorite shirts, or like she made a Harley T-shirt quilt for somebody once, where they have, that you can go to these different Harley dealerships around the country and you can get a shirt that says Harley Davidson from such and such.
Right.
And they had all these T-shirts from the different Harley dealerships around the country that they'd visited, and she turned it into a nice quilt for them, which is pretty cool. So anyway, if you've got something that you've repurposed or you've found a great deal at a secondhand store dealing with clothing, let us know this morning, 800-221-9356.
I always love it when I get distracted and I look up and see that we're over on time. And I'm like, stop talking, Jeremy, start cutting.
So see, Jeremy is like not only the technical producer of the show, but he's also our timekeeper. We have certain times that we have to hit during the morning, or try to the best that we can, and that is hitting it towards for the news or whatever. So he has to try and keep everything rolling and keep it in time. And with Deb and I, sometimes it's like herding cats. It doesn't always happen, but he does a great job of keeping us in line. So let's see. Made memory pillows and legacy jewelry for friends. That's cool. You're very crafty, Heidi. That's all I got to say. Very crafty. In a good way.
We've got Carolyn on the line. You want to take her real quick?
Yeah, we can do that. Hey, Carolyn, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. So have you made something or repurposed something or found a good deal?
Well, a little bit of both, I guess.
Okay.
But when I was celebrating our 5th anniversary, I made myself a dress.
Yeah.
And then I kept it, so when my daughter turned 5, I remade the dress for her.
Well, very cool. That's neat. Kind of repurpose the dress. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't do it now, though.
Wow, that's great, though. Very cool, Carolyn. Thanks for sharing that.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye. Yeah, that's a cool idea. 7:21 here at Moody Radio. It is Ken and Jeremy with you. As I mentioned on the live stream just a minute ago, Jeremy's, it's like herding cats sometimes when we're doing the morning show because he's got a lot of hats that he wears.
Especially right now during the mid-morning show coffee break.
Right? Yeah. So Jeremy's running the board, trying to keep the time, trying to keep the live stream going, answering the phone, making sure the board works, right?
Oh, yeah, it's the most enjoyable part of the morning. Looking for cues from Ken to come out of the spot break.
At 7:30, he'll just pass out here for a while. But anyway, we're talking about repurposing things. You can get a hold of us, 800-221-9356, or a treasure that you found during National Secondhand Wardrobe Day. Maybe you have found a great piece of clothing, and maybe you've repurposed that as well. So you can share that with us as well. Also, news update is on the way. Right now, it's Hillsong Worship and Who You Say I Am on Moody Radio Quad Cities from the Word to Life. Good morning.
Yeah, you got Brian Bill coming up. I can
We
just
do.
leave you and Brian to run the ship.
Yes, that's true. Yes, Pastor Brian Bill is going to join us. He's talking about basically the gladness of sadness. And what are we talking about when we talk about that? Well, as the pandemic kind of lingers on, and we've got political tensions that are happening, and racial tensions are high. Back to school routine is changing. It seems like every day. We can be overwhelmed with feelings of loss and despair. Well, Brian Bill is going to talk about and highlight the gladness of sadness. What are some arenas where God is calling us to mourn, and how does he do that? He's going to take a look at, I believe it is Matthew chapter 5, where he's going to get his message from.
Yep, so that's coming up at about 7:35 live on Moody Radio Quad Cities. But if you are listening to this after the fact, it will be available on demand at our website, kenandem.org. That'll probably be sometime 10 o'clock or thereafter.
Okay. Hey, thanks for joining us on our mid-morning show coffee break this morning. You can continue to keep those comments coming to us via text or calling us at 800-221-9356. We're talking about what treasures have you found at secondhand stores. Maybe you've repurposed something. What is it? Again, 800-221-9356, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.
I just got really confused by Heidi.
Why?
Because in the comments she said, my pastor, and I thought she was talking about repurposed things. I forgot Brian Bill's her pastor.
No, Heidi, we're not going to repurpose Brian. No. Anyway, have a great rest of your day. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning at 7.